Rugby World Cup final build-up week in 2003. Can you give us a sense of what is going to be going through these players' minds right now?
The whole gamut of emotion. Best week ever for Stars. And I might be old and sentimental, but I would implore them just to write things down, scribble things down. They think they're invincible right now, but they'll soon be like 47, 48 years old, and people will be asking them what it was like. And it's like, I think I can remember. I know we went to the cinema and watched Intolerable Cruelty, the George Clooney Coen brothers film, because our Friday afternoon cinema club was Lewis Moody, Steve Thompson, Ben Cohen and myself. And by the time we'd been in Australia for 6 weeks, we exhausted all the films, and the only film left was Intolerable Cruelty, which wasn't a great film, but it meant you could get away from the nutritionist and have a pack of minstrels and a large Fanta. It's the only way. Honestly, you'll have to learn all these things with experience, that you can't get chocolate in the hotel because someone will be slapping your hand because it's not protein, it's not carbohydrates. I was like, down the cinema. Scribble things down and enjoy the moments. I think the reality is, when I look back on it now, I mean, a variety of the stages you go through in your life, and of course family is way more important and this sort of stuff, but there are certain moments in your life where you truly feel invincible. And I think right now, they're almost like Marvel characters. I know the Avengers had a bad time of it in that last film. If they needed a whole new crew, just currently go and get either the South African team or the England team, because they're walking on cloud now and they're not listening to the social. I'm not talking about people pumping them up a little bit too much and saying, wow, weren't they amazing? I'm talking about the feeling that has been generated from within, so that every time they go onto the training field now, they look around. If I was playing in the midfield, I'd look around and I'd see Owen or I'd see Manu. I'd look at my wingers and I'd go, oh my God, there's Watson, there's Daly, there's Noel, fucking the singer's not even getting a sniff. Grow. And a really, really special week. And within that, there's that sort of slight counterbalance that now don't do something different. I don't think teams tend to. It's that classic banana skin, but if you play daft name games the night before the hotel, play the same daft name game. If you go to the cinema on a Friday, go to the cinema. If you're normally going out and seeing your mates for a coffee, do that, because getting yourself into that sort of feeling of familiarity about something can dampen the fear, because the bit I haven't talked about yet is the utter fear that I always thought I lived privately, but I'd out talk to other players and you read in their books that even some of the great, I mean, Martin Johnson, in a moment of weakness, mentioned to me on the Wednesday before the final, he had his first moment of self-doubt he'd ever had in his career. Luckily, he's such a sort of force of nature, he parked it very quickly. Johnny has talked about it not being fun because of the pressure, and I was terrified of letting the country down. I mean, the Wednesday and the Thursday, I nearly didn't leave my room. And so I've talked about that gamut of emotions early on. For moments you feel invincible, then you get alone in your hotel room, and I'm led to believe that if you're on your own, 95% of a human being's thoughts are negative. So don't spend time on your own. And I would sleep a lot. But I've talked about it recently. There were moments during the final week that I contemplated, like getting injured, just pull out. My cat is amazing. Let Catty play. Let Tinder play. I'll just sit back here. I don't want to be. You've got to remember, the insecurities maybe some players had, as I did. I mean, it took me 40 caps before I really believed I could play in a game. You then look at it on the English media side, and you go back, I'm a football fan, and Beckham in '98 kicks Simeone, goes off, and they're burning effigy. It's like, what the heck? What's this all about? And that pressure. And so you throw those things in, and you just begin to worry, oh my God, I can't be that guy, and this is such a good team, don't let me let them down. In a nutshell, I'd sort of describe completely polar opposite ends of the film, but that's what they have to try and control, so that come Saturday, when they get on that bus, I'm thinking it's a sort of 6 o'clock kickoff over here, they want to be at the ground at 4:30, they're getting on the bus about 3:30. Once they get on there, they're doing their day job, but up until then, can they control, can they manage, can they stay grounded? That's where the coaches will play a crucial role in just keeping a lid on training, but also letting, as John Mitchell always said, letting the dog see the rabbit. So letting them expend some energy so that they, not pent up in hotel rooms, but at the same stage, trying to. The bloke I've compared them to this week is try and be an athlete. Try and think you're David Rudisha. Try and think you're going to run an 800 on Saturday, a horrible event 800, because you don't know if to sprint from the start or go on. I'm wittering on here, but it's about now. The technical aspect of the game is done. They're not going to teach them how to pass any better now.
Surely they will draw immense confidence and resolve from their semi-final performance. Where did that rank in your view of England performances?
Yeah, so it's. So here's the thing I'd come back to. So I'll do it on a global sporting sense. Is Messi better than Pele? I'll go. South Africa was 07 better than 95. It's different times, different skill sets. For their skill set, that was insanely good. Things have changed. Sports stats, a race for stats now. They're like Terminator machines, this English team. They get up, they get a knock, an arm magically regrows, they get back up and they come again, and you think eventually they'll stop, and they don't stop. I don't know how Arnie was eventually knocked off in Terminator. You have to throw him into a vat of burning oil. The South Africans might need a vat of burning oil on Saturday, because they'll be back. They're those English players, they get back up and they go again. So where does it rank? I can honestly say I would compare it to Fiji beating Great Britain in the Olympic Sevens final. I would compare it to a Rhodesia final. I would compare it to the first 147 on snooker. I would say for its time, for its moment, extraordinary. I'm always worried about saying that was better than Dean Richards' win in the quarter-final in Paris in 1991, which was, oh my God, what a battle that was. Or Barbarians 1973. How does that? It's so difficult to. In its moment, it will be remembered as one of the greats.
Can England back it up? And second, can South Africa, if they do back it up, counter what England brought to that semi-final?
So first of all, I'm going to throw my South African friends a bone here. The stats say if you beat New Zealand in the knockout stage, only 25% of the time do you go on and win the World Cup. They've been beaten 4 times in the knockout stage. I'm not including the final of 95. Only one team that has beaten them before the final has gone on to win it. Australia 91. 99 France couldn't back up. Australia 03 couldn't back up. France 07 couldn't back up. It's why Warren Gatland mentioned they may have played their final. Because what you don't see, and there's no way, and it's maybe just my perspective here, and I want to prospectively blind to other people's view. My view is I've always thought the All Blacks are the greatest rugby team on the planet. The Springboks are, whoa, what about us? I know, sorry about that. For me, the Brazil of football has always been the All Blacks. And so you find something for them. And it might be a knockout game, it might be a November international, it might be a summer tour, it's a World Cup. It's like the Haka. And just everything's like, what? This is them. Got it. So trying to recreate that sometimes is like, as my wife says, you should never reheat a souffle. It's so difficult to do that again. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, and that's Eddie's challenge, that's Mario Toja and Owen Farrell's challenge. And if they recreate that, this is why I snatch that bone away from my Springbok friends and say, well, I've given you a bone and said it doesn't have Miri off the now, and say, if they play like last week, there will only be one winner. But the Springboks will not let their line-out get decimated. They will not play in areas that will invite England's press defence on. They will not throw long passes that can be picked off that change the momentum. I think they are unbelievably disciplined now, will not go penalty in quick succession, that will flip again. Now England will say the New Zealanders did all that because we applied pressure, and I totally get that. I don't think in rugby now you can talk about an unforced error. I don't think you should ever talk about an unforced error. In tennis they talk about it, because subliminally you're trying to play a ground stroke because you feel you have to do it. It's like I play golf badly, and I play with some good golfers. they're not applying pressure to me. I'm not even playing a match, but they drill one 300 yards down the middle. I'm like, I need to drill one 300 yards. By just playing to a level, that suddenly becomes not an unforced error, it's a forced error. But I don't think the South Africans will create as many or deliver up as many forced errors as the All Blacks did. What they must do, though, is I don't think South Africa will win it going in threes. I think you have to go fives or sevens a couple of times. And I know finals are cagey affairs. Pollard's kicking, wow. I mean, that conversion of 14-9, people think, don't worry about it. Huge. I've got so much respect for them. Their line-out is insane. Just a top-class outfit. Once Khaleesi was captain, the change, the momentum, the self-belief has been wonderful to watch, because no one enjoyed seeing South Africa in the doldrums. The reality is, if World Rugby is going to grow, the strong seed sides have to create this vacuum, lifting their performances, and then the others, the Georgians and the Japans, will go, I want to fill that vacuum, I want to follow. If the top level sides are poor, then it allows teams to get away with mediocrity. And for the last 18 months, I've been really quiet about this. I've backed South Africa to win the World Cup. I now think I've placed a wrong bet, but I've got an emotional hedge if they do.